They don't tell you this part about aging. One day, you're the center of your family's world, and the next, you're sitting in a room full of people, feeling like nobody sees you anymore. It happens quietly. You don't fall off a cliff, you fade. Bit by bit, your phone rings less. People talk over you more. Invitations dry up, and you start to wonder, did I become invisible the moment I turned 60? If that question hits home, you're not alone. Millions of older adults feel this strange vanishing act. And it's not because you've changed, it's because the world around you has. But here's the truth. Invisibility isn't permanent, and it's not your fault. It's something we can fix. In this video, we're going to talk about why some people feel unseen after 60, and more importantly, how to take that power back. This isn't about demanding attention or chasing youth. It's about reconnecting with your presence, your purpose, and your voice. Let's dive into the first shift that changes everything. 1. The world stops asking for your opinion, so you stop giving it. There's something odd that happens around retirement age. People stop asking, "What do you think?" Suddenly, your life experience, decades of stories, skills, and hard-earned wisdom gets treated like outdated software. And after a while, you stop offering it. You shrink yourself to fit the silence. But here's the thing. Your voice matters more now than ever, especially to younger generations who are drowning in noise but starving for real perspective. If they're not asking, speak anyway. Start small. Give your opinion at the dinner table. Ask questions in conversation. Share that story you've been holding on to. When you use your voice, you don't just remind others you're still here. You remind yourself. You reclaim your space. 2. Routines that turn you invisible without you noticing. You wake up, same coffee, same chair, same channel, same walk around the block. It's comforting, sure, but slowly, routine becomes camouflage. You start blending into the background, not because you want to, but because life stops offering contrast. Now, don't get me wrong, comfort is beautiful, but so is contrast, so is disruption. One of the fastest ways to feel visible again, do something unfamiliar. Take a class where a bold color, show up somewhere new, even if it feels awkward. Because here's the truth, novelty doesn't just wake up your brain. It wakes up everyone around you. It reminds them and you that you are still growing, still living, still becoming. And that is a powerful thing to witness. 3. The silent erosion of identity when purpose fades. When we're younger, identity is tied to what we do. We're parents, workers, providers, planners. But what happens when the job ends? When the kids move out? When nobody depends on you the way they used to? For many, the answer is heartbreakingly simple. They begin to feel invisible because they no longer feel needed. And let me tell you, feeling unneeded is one of the fastest ways to disappear from your own life. But here's the truth they don't talk about. You don't need someone else to assign you purpose. You get to choose it. Every single day, you can volunteer, mentor someone, create something, learn something, help someone in your community. You don't need to be seen by everyone. You just need to see yourself in what you do and do it with heart, because purpose isn't a title, it's a feeling, and it's one you can choose to feel again. So, we've touched on the silence that creeps in when your voice is invited, the routines that make you disappear without realizing it, and the loss of purpose that makes your reflection harder to recognize. But this is only the beginning, because the truth is, once you understand these quiet traps, the next step is learning how to break free from them, for good. Now, here's something nobody prepares you for. The moment you walk into a room and realize no one looks up, not out of rudeness, but because they didn't expect you to take up space anymore. It's subtle. No one says it out loud. But the message is clear. You've moved to the background of the story. But here's what they don't tell you. Staying in the background is a decision you don't have to make. Let's talk about something powerful, how physical presence shapes perception. You see, over time, many people begin to physically shrink, not just in stature, but in posture and movement, in how they carry themselves. Shoulders round, voices soften, steps become smaller. It's not intentional. It's just how the body adjusts to feeling unseen. But the way you carry yourself changes the way people respond to you. Sit up straighter, walk into a room, and make eye contact. Speak just a little louder than you think you need to. These aren't just surface-level changes. They are signals to the world and to yourself that you are still here, that you matter. A woman once told me, "I started wearing red lipstick again in my 70s. Not because I wanted attention, but because I needed to remember I still had a face worth noticing. That struck me. Sometimes it's not about the lipstick. It's about the decision to be seen. And while we're at it, let's talk about the mirror. Not the one in your bathroom. I'm talking about the social mirror, how others reflect you back to yourself. See, after 60, people start using labels. Retired, senior, grandparent. They mean well, but labels are often used as limits. They box you in, shrinking your full story down to a single page. But what if you stopped accepting the label and started rewriting the narrative? Think about something you've always wanted to try. Maybe it's painting, learning guitar, starting a blog, joining a local theater group. These aren't hobbies, they're doorways. Because the moment you step into something new, you remind everyone around you that age doesn't mean an ending. It means reinvention. One man I met started posting short poems online at 74. His grandson shared one, and suddenly, thousands of people were reading his words. He wasn't invisible anymore. He was inspiring people half his age, and all it took was the courage to share what was already inside him. Now, some of you might be thinking, but what if no one notices? What if I try and nothing changes? And that brings us to one of the deepest wounds of invisibility, being overlooked by the people you love. It's a quiet heartbreak when your own family stops asking for your stories, when your kids are too busy, your grandkids too distracted. You smile, nod, and say, "I'm fine," but inside you're aching to be seen, to be asked, to be heard. Here's the thing. You can wait forever for people to see you, or you can start showing yourself. Call your granddaughter and ask her how her day was, and then tell her about a day from your youth that taught you something. Write a letter to your children, not asking for anything, just telling them something they never knew about you. Share a photo from your past and talk about what it meant to you. You don't need permission to be remembered. Sometimes people don't ignore you because they don't care. They just forgot who you were before the wrinkles and reading glasses. Remind them, not with anger, not with guilt, but with your presence, with your truth, with your story. The more you show up, not just physically, but emotionally, the more impossible it becomes for others to ignore the richness of who you are. And the best part? When you stop waiting to be seen and start choosing to be visible, the world begins to shift. You'll find yourself in conversations that matter again. You'll see eyes light up when you speak. You'll realize you were never truly invisible. You just needed to step back into the light, because aging doesn't erase you. It reveals you, and there's still so much more to be seen. Let's pause for a moment and be honest. Feeling invisible after 60 doesn't always come from the outside world. Sometimes it starts from within. There's a certain silence that creeps in when your life gets smaller, not just in square footage or schedule, but in confidence. The voice in your head grows quieter. You second guess yourself more. You worry that your thoughts aren't relevant anymore, so you stop speaking up. And after a while, people stop asking. But here's the truth. Relevance has nothing to do with age. It has everything to do with presence, with staying curious, with staying connected, with refusing to disappear just because the world stopped clapping every time you walked in the room. Think of it like this. A fire doesn't stop being fire when a room gets quiet. It still burns. It still glows. It still warms. You are still that fire. And one of the most powerful ways to fan that flame is to reconnect with what makes you feel alive. That might mean picking up a camera and taking photos of your neighborhood, or waking up early just to feel the sunrise on your skin. It might mean writing your thoughts down, even if no one reads them, because they still matter, or singing aloud while you cook, simply because you can. You don't need a spotlight to be seen. You need a reason to shine from within. And here's something else they don't talk about enough. Laughter, not polite smiles, not chuckles over old jokes. I'm talking about real, from the belly, tears in your eyes laughter. You know what happens when someone laughs like that? Everyone turns toward them. They become magnetic, alive, impossible to ignore. That's the kind of visibility no makeup or money can buy. But too often, laughter fades as we age. We start to take everything so seriously. The aches, the worries, the quiet grief of growing older. But here's a secret. Laughter doesn't disappear because of age. It disappears because we stop allowing joy in. You want to feel seen? Let yourself laugh again. Let yourself play. Let yourself be a little ridiculous sometimes. You don't stop being valuable when you're older. But you do stop being visible when you stop giving yourself permission to be fully human. Now let's go even deeper. One of the most overlooked reasons people feel invisible is because they've spent years putting everyone else first. And I get it. You raised the kids, supported your spouse, built the career, paid the bills, took care of aging parents. You were the glue, the rock, the safe place. But here's the hard part. When those roles start to fade, it can feel like your purpose fades too. You're no longer mom, or the manager, or the one everyone relies on. You're just you. And if you spend decades defining yourself through service, that can feel like nothing. But it's not nothing. In fact, that's where the magic begins. This chapter of life isn't about who needs you. It's about who you want to be. Not because someone is counting on you, but because you still matter, even if no one's watching. So ask yourself, not who am I now that they don't need me, but who am I when I finally get to choose just for me? That's not selfish. That's sacred. And the people who love you, they don't want a version of you that's always sacrificing. They want the real you, the you who laughs, the you who speaks freely, the you who still dances when no one's looking. They want the spark back, and you can give it to them. But more importantly, you can give it to yourself. You are not invisible. You are becoming. You know, people always say, age is just a number. But that number does something strange. It changes how people look at you. Sometimes, even how you look at yourself. But here's what I want you to hear, really hear. That number doesn't define your worth, your wisdom, or your place in the world. The world may not always see you the way it once did, but that doesn't mean you've disappeared. It just means it's time to reintroduce yourself. And not as someone trying to chase youth, but as someone who's finally ready to live boldly, honestly, and fully without apology. Because let's face it, visibility isn't about being in the spotlight. It's about knowing that your life still casts a light, and it reaches further than you realize. Every time you smile at someone who looks like they're having a bad day, every time you share a story that helps someone feel less alone, every time you make the effort to show up, even when no one asked you to, you are making yourself visible in the most powerful way through connection. And connection, that's where the healing begins. Because the truth is, when people feel seen, they soften. And when you feel seen, you stand taller. So here's what I want to say. From one heart to another, you haven't lost your relevance. You haven't run out of value. You're not done yet. There's still time to try new things. Still time to spark someone else's day. Still time to fall in love with a hobby, a cause, a community, maybe even yourself. You can reclaim your rhythm, your curiosity, your voice. You can dress the way you want, speak the way you feel, and fill your days with things that make you feel awake again. You are not fading, you're unfolding. And yes, some people may still overlook you, but that doesn't mean you have to overlook yourself. Let them underestimate you. Let them assume your best years are behind you. Then surprise them with your strength, your clarity, your presence. Because the moment you stop seeking approval and start owning your story, that's the moment you become impossible to ignore. So let this be a reminder. You are here, you are worthy, and you are deeply, undeniably visible. And if something in this video spoke to you, if you've ever felt invisible or forgotten or overlooked, leave a comment below. Let someone else see your words and realize they're not alone. We'd love to hear from you, because every comment, every voice, every story shared, that's another spark of visibility. And if this message meant something to you, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Not because numbers matter, but because you matter. And we want to keep bringing you content that reminds you of that. Here's the presence. Here's the purpose. Here's the living scene every single day. You're still here, and the world is lucky to have you.